Hello and welcome back to the cabin. You might have thought that you had landed in Mexico. A lot of you probably already thinking of Mexico in the next couple months. But here we are in Canada, not Mexico. We're going to make some chili con carne. So we're going to start with some onions and celery. And get those frying up in this big pan. This is a one pan kind of a dish where you don't need to fry and cook in different pans. It can all be cooked in one pan. So large chunks of onion. There we go. Very nice. That oil's just, I put a little bit of olive oil in there. It's just starting to get nice. All right, a little bit of celery. Get those going good. Now this chili, I'm not doing chunks of beef. I'm going to use ground beef. And as you can see, there's an assortment of cans. If you can your own tomatoes, buy dry chickpeas, soak them. Maybe you even grow some of your own beans, corn. Mom used to make her own baked beans, delicious. You won't need all these cans. You'll have it in other forms in your pantry and in your cold storage. But right now, at this space and time, we're going to use these cans and make a delicious chili con carne. Now the name just means chilies with meat. So if it was just chili, it would be with no meat. I find this to be an excellent vegetarian dish without the meat. You get all the proteins, vitamins. It's all good for you. Chili is very good for you. But we are adding a little bit of meat, so it will not be vegetarian. I have made this before with near the end of the sauce, I add cooked oatmeal, and it actually will thicken it and almost looks like the texture of ground beef. So there's tricks if you really need it to look like it's meat, but it's not. And we're going to fry those onions until they're translucent. So at this point, I'm going to turn on my secondary camera. All right, so we're filming from two angles. And this is a close-up of the pot. Now peppers won't go in yet. We're going to let the onions get translucent. And then we're going to add a bit of garlic. I just have minced garlic on hand, and that will work nicely. Now I don't want to add it too soon because garlic burns easily. So that's a total of about 1 teaspoon. Now it probably seems like a lot, but this is an extra large pot. This will be for feeding a large group of people, 10 people, 9 to 10 people. we want to make sure, because it's such a large batch, that we want those flavors. That's good. That's coming nice. Now, the next thing we're going to add is the ground beef. I'm going to wash my hands. And we're just going to crumble it into the pot, and it's going to slightly brown. Now, I know that there's some spices, if you add too soon, I think it's basil, it might make the meat look like it's still kind of pink. So we won't do that. All right, that's frying up really nice. So we're going to leave that and let it simmer. And we're going to come back and add some peppers. And I'm just leaving them in rings. They don't need to be any kind of fancy cubes or anything. We want there to be a bit of, you know, substance there. We don't want it just to all melt into the chili. We want to see each bit. Now, normally these would be hot chilies, okay? Whatever your hot chili preference is. My knife must be getting dull. I hear it banging on the cutting board. Sorry about that. I need to sharpen it. And of course, these are the same sweet chili peppers that I've been using now for a few weeks. Love the taste. They go with pretty well everything. And that's going to add a really nice punch to our chili. Now, huge history with chili. You know, Mom used to make chili con carne. It was a mainstay when you have so many kids. And we loved it. Now, sometimes she made it spicy. Other times she didn't. Not sure if that was on purpose or not. But yeah, I started to write down the ingredients. There's a lot that can go into this. Now you can make this much simpler. You can just have it with a bit of crushed tomato or diced tomato and a can of beans and some kidney beans, maybe corn. And it'll still be a delicious chili. So chili is kind of one of those things that you make it your own. Basics are chili peppers or peppers of some kind, a meat if you like meat, and then chili powder is going to give it that chili punch. And then whatever else you add is to your liking. So now when I researched chili con carne, they said it's like a Spanish stew, Tex-Mex. And what they mean by that is that it wasn't sure where chili had originated from. It was believed in northern Mexico or southern Texas, because Texas, part of that Texas, used to belong to Mexico. Chili was commonly prepared by hard-working women, usually Mexican women. The chili queens of San Antonio were famous for selling their inexpensive chili-flavored stew, with beef usually. And they were sold in their casual chili joints. So I like that when they use a play on words. The joints might have been something to do with the joints of meat that they're cooked up. Now there's a Canary Island story, and it was a population of the Canary Islanders that had gone to live in Antonio and brought the chili recipe with them. There's also an Indian indigenous legend where a woman dressed in blue taught Germano Indians how to make the fiery stew that we call chili. And chili con carne became popular in the USA after the 1893 World Columbian Exhibition in Chicago in 1977. The 65th Texas legislature designated, sorry, can't even read my own writing, designated chili con carne as the official dish for the state of Texas. So that's a big deal. They love their chili. And some people say that the chili stew recipe goes back as far as 2,000 years to a Ute tribe. It was originally made with horse meat or deer meat and cornmeal and chili peppers. It was much later that beans were added. Well, that's kind of cool to think that there's a lot of history. Is it Spanish? Is it Mexican? Is it indigenous? Whatever it is, it's been around a long time and we love it. Now, I was going to take a break, but I don't think I need to. I think I need to add those peppers and get them going. This is cooking nice. I'm going to turn that down a bit. Now, the peppers don't really need to fry with the hamburger for long. And then I'm going to start adding in these canned ingredients. Now, when I'm dealing with cans, I always wash the tops before I take the lids off. And then you know they're clean. Everything's clean. Yeah, that's turning out quite nice. It's already got the colors of Mexico, colorful peppers dish. Yeah, this is pretty nice. Smells delicious. I'm one day going to invent that smell-o-vision. All right, and I'm going to start by adding the mixed beans, and I hope you can see beautiful mixed beans. Now, they come with in a bit of a juice, a sauce. I usually take the excess out. Just a bit off the top. Now, these cans, of course, are going to get recycled. Look at these beautiful beans. All right, I gotta bring this up and show. Oh, beautiful, the colors. Nice. All right, chickpeas. And again, these things are all optional. It's how you like to make your chili. Me, I want to make it so hearty that everyone is satisfied. Now, we're going to add these 2 cans of beans. Now these are, one is a baked beans and tomato sauce, and I couldn't resist adding a can of molasses beans. Yeah, dark molasses is going to be just perfect for chili. All right. Now, we're just going to keep this warm. It's going to start heating up. Now, leftovers of chili don't last long. We'll probably have the rest for lunch tomorrow. But if there were leftovers, you can freeze it. I have frozen it before. Now, we've got some oregano here we're going to throw in. I just happen to have this in the fridge. I'm going to be dehydrating some of it. Oh, that's going to add a beautiful fresh green flavor. Now, of course, oregano, we think of a spaghetti or some kind of pasta dish, but Oregano also goes very well in chili. It's kind of one of those spices. And a little more and that should be good. So there's probably a good tablespoon and a half of fresh oregano. So that might equate to a tablespoon of dried oregano. All right, very nice. And the rest will get dehydrated. Oh, I'm enjoying this music made by this channel. Oh, that's nice. Oh, I see a little oregano stick I'm going to pull out. And we've got bubbling. All right, so we've got whole tomatoes. I just like a chunky chili. We've got diced tomatoes. Yeah. And crushed tomatoes. So this is what's going to help form our sauce. Now, of course, if you're making a smaller batch, you wouldn't want to add 3 large cans of tomato. You know, you could add a regular sized can of stewed tomatoes even. And I'm going to see what this is like. Okay. Yes, let's just let that be. I'm going to go check on the music and see what happened. There we go, a little mariachi music, trumpets and guitars, very nice. Now we are going to add, this is a tomato basil. It's kind of like it's a tomato sauce. And that's the basil. I couldn't find any basil. I didn't have any dried basil. So that'll have to do. All right. We'll give this a good stir now. Well, I hope both these cameras are picking it up. We're going to come back in about 15 minutes. And we're going to let this simmer. Let it get bubbling and the juice is going. And then we're going to add the can of corn. That'll be last. Well, thanks for coming by the cabin to see what we're cooking for dinner tonight. And stay tuned because we're going to be right back. All right, so our chili is almost done. I'm just putting on this secondary camera. There we go. I'm getting pretty good at this. I toasted a little bit of bread. It got a little dark, but that's okay because when it comes to chili, they like it nice and dark. So here we add that to this plate. And I'm going to cut one in half. And I can have a taste test. I need to move that. All right. Yeah, I just don't want to get burnt from the hot pan. All right, so that's pretty nice looking bowl there. Now, while you were gone, or I was gone, I added the corn and some spices. Now this is where you can make it your own as well. You add the spices that you like. Now I'm adding some of this Hungarian paprika. Now, one of my previous videos was Lithuanian goulash. And that's when I purchased the Hungarian paprika. So it makes all the difference to have good. This is a sweet paprika. I just can't handle that hot food anymore. And then we've got a regular chili powder, nothing fancy, just a chili powder. I added about a tablespoon and a half of fennel seeds. Just adds a beautiful flavor to any kind of a red sauce, especially chili or pasta. And then we've got here about a tablespoon and a half of apple cider vinegar. I added 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Whoa, where are we going here? We're on the loose. We went over. Okay, we just don't want that to burn everywhere. All right, where was I? So about 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Could be white. I just happen to have some brown. You saw me add the oregano. Could be dried oregano. Garlic powder, minced garlic, and a little bit of cumin that was in my spice mix that I added. So there's cumin in here, along with dried garlic, dried onion, salt, pepper. What else? Did I miss anything? And then you saw the array of cans that I added. So I think that's it. That was the final ingredients. Turned out really nice. And we just have had it on a low simmer for about 20 minutes. And you can see the wisps. I hope you can see the wisps of heat coming off. We don't want it to burn. I've got it on a medium. It's just enough to keep it hot without burning. Nothing on the edge of the spoon, so that's a good sign that nothing got burned. Now I think we need to plate this up. Now before we do, you know how much I like squash. If you were to make this as a vegetarian without meat, it's excellent with butternut squash. It's like the meat of squash. So keep that in mind if you don't want to have the meat. Oh my goodness. That is a beautiful looking chili. And now we know a little bit about the history of chili and where it comes from. Few different origin stories, and that's fine. And we've made it our own and added all kinds of goodness in there. Oh yeah, that's a good bowl. I'm going to just clean the edge a little. And there you have it. I hope you can see the steam because it's actually steaming. No, you can't. Anyway, chili con carne. These are classic meals at the cabin. Classic meals at the cabin. Very nice. And now a couple of quick photos before I tear it apart. Oh yeah, this is going to be delicious. Oh my goodness, and it smells good. You can actually smell the chili powder, which is a really good sign. And of course, all the way through cooking, Grab a clean spoon, give it a taste. Grab a clean spoon, give it a taste. Yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. So I think the only thing left to do is to give it a taste test and see how it is. And I'm going to use a little piece of dark toast to help me do that. Oh my goodness, that is so good. Love anything tomatoey. The sauce is not too thick. It is like the stew they talked about. You can taste everything. It goes so well together. And the beans and the chickpeas, yeah. You can't go wrong with a hearty bowl of chili con carne. With a bit of toast. Oh, this is excellent. Well, thank you for joining us here at the cabin. As usual, it was a good experience. We all learned something. And I think I'm going to turn this off now. I think it's reached its maximum. Now, the funny thing with chili, in a couple hours from now when this really cools down, on toast, excellent. Tomorrow for lunch, probably on toast. It just gets better the next day, within hours, and then the next day just gets better and better. I want to thank all my subscribers and my viewers. Without you, this little channel would not grow. And for all my viewers, thank you for stopping by and having a look at what I do. Don't be shy. Hit that subscribe button. No one's going to try and sell you anything, and your name's not going on a list. It's just to help this little channel to grow. We surpassed our 100 subscribers, and we're so excited for the next 100 subscribers. And until then, we're just going to keep giving you much of the same content with the odd new shows peeking through, like our reset meditations. Those are going really well. We have AGA, Ask Grandma Anything. And of course, we've got a couple other shows that are just coming into fruition. So we're going to have a whole busy end of January and into February. So stay tuned, ring that bell, get notified when new videos are posted. You can't beat chili. Hearty, good for you, hits the spot. Call the family for dinner. And as always, be kind to nature and be kind to each other. And go into the forest safely as often as you can. Just not after dark and alone. Chili. Delicious.